Good evening, friends.
Hello.
Hi, Joanna. We have a little talk tonight about health issues, and Joanna has some questions about what I teach, and although she's been studying with me for a while, um, what questions do you have?
So, is it possible the chakra and yoga system can help us in this moment? If yes, how?
The chakra yoga system is an empowerment for humans, for human being. It's a comprehensive method of working with body, with mind, from an energetic level, because both body and the mind work on energy. If there's no energy in your brain, it doesn't work. Your nervous system runs on a kind of electricity. And everything in your body is governed by a flow of energy from the mind to the body, activating everything. So each chakra is connected to a specific area of the body, certain glands and organs. And in yoga, accessing the chakra energy is like accessing the power that turns on the lights and makes everything work. And when there's enough power, the glands and organs function very well. They produce whatever they need to, and that includes the fourth chakra, Anahata, which governs the heart and the lungs, and the thymus gland, which is essentially the center of our autoimmune system. So by working with the techniques in the chakra yoga system, focus on each chakra specifically. There's breathing techniques for each one. There's visual concentration. There's concentration on the specific feeling of each chakra to get in touch with it, and then to activate that with breathing, with prana. So it's a system that goes through every part of your body and reactivates each one. And at this time, because humanity is in a bit of a health crisis, bringing the immune system back on track is a very good idea. It's not that difficult. I've been teaching this for 50 years, and I've always seen that most people don't have a healthy immune system. We're struggling, and we have a society that is not in good health and is dependent on medicine to try and fight off diseases, without considering that we already have a whole medical system inside of us. The autoimmune system is capable of producing everything we need to fight off bacteria, infections, viruses, all of these things. We just need to utilize it, empower it. So the system of chakra yoga includes the postures, the movements to create circulation that is getting to every part of your body, oxygenating that circulation through breath, and when you raise your oxygen level and get the oxygen everywhere, all of your cells become happy, and every gland and organ, including thymus gland, are made of cells that function much better when they have the fuel they need. Does that kind of answer your question?
Okay, yes, thank you. The thymus is very active in the primary years. Then do those becomes dormant?
Yeah, the thymus gland is the educational center for all the white blood cells, including the antibodies that fight viruses, etc. Now, in the first years of your life, when you enter this world in your new little body, you're sampling the world everywhere, and your thymus gland is very active in taking samples of bacteria and things that are around and looking at it, looking at the molecular structure of viruses and bacteria, and then making a counter molecule that can go in and dissolve it. That's what an antibody is. It's a molecule that is designed to disassemble other molecules, essentially. So in the first years of our life, we're in a new world, and we're getting our grip on everything that's out there. And the thymus gland is educating white blood cells that are generically made and coding them into lymphocytes of this type, macrophages or killer cells or antibodies. After the first several years of life, if you stay in the same environment, then there's no more new bacteria or viruses, because you've kind of tested the world and you've already have antibodies and white blood cells that can handle everything in your environment. Now this changes when now we're in a global age. Everyone is traveling, so you're brought up in one area and the thymus gland is very alive, and then it becomes more dormant because you're not discovering any new bacteria because you've already sampled everything. So it becomes more dormant. In many adults it kind of shrivels up. It dwindles into a very small gland that is hardly active at all. But in the yogic techniques we bring this back to life, and we'll do a couple of these techniques. They're connected with the breath, bringing oxygen, bringing prana into the gland and organ, the thymus gland in this case. And then there's a mental, visual side to it, and there's a feeling aspect. And when you're putting all of these together, it really reactivates the system.
Okay. Next question. How does the chakra yoga system explain the fear and the anxiety gripping humanity at this time?
Well, the fear and the anxiety has a lot to do with the publication and the media that's spreading a lot too much of the negativity, and they're very focused on the deadliness of this virus and the number of people dying, and not looking at the number of people who contact it and survive and overcome it very easily. Many people just have very light symptoms. The majority, over 80%. So now when you're in a state of fear, which is happening because everywhere you look people are talking about it, it's in every news, it's all over the internet, so you start to feel fear because it's coming at you from all sides. Now what this does is it, in general, if you look at what happens when you're in a fearful state, you kind of hold your breath. And when you realize, well, I'm holding my breath and that's lowering my oxygen level, it's inhibiting my immune system, and fear, just as a psychological, emotional state, inhibits the autoimmune system. Like worry will inhibit the digestive system and interfere with digestion. This is a medical known fact. So fear grips us here in the Anahata, fourth chakra, disturbs the functioning. Our heart might go faster, our breathing goes more shallow, or stops and we hold it. And the solution to that is simply to expand and breathe. And if you do that, you'll find that after a few minutes of deep breathing, particularly the midsection breath, the feeling of fear fades away. And you can try this. It's simply breathing, and let's take a minute and just do this now. I'll show you. It's the midsection breath, which those of you who've studied with me all know this very well. It's the ribs going out to the side and back in. So it's happening right from the heart center. This is Anahata chakra, the fourth one, and it governs the autoimmune system, the heart, and the lungs. So right from there you can feel this impulse. When you take in a breath, it's expanding. This is the essence of the feeling of Anahata chakra. And when you get in touch with the actual feeling of the energy of expansion, you are getting in touch with the force that does the triggers the autoimmune system, empowers it, and by paying attention to it, by becoming conscious of this feeling, you're amplifying the feeling and centering in this area. It will overcome feelings of fear. It will reactivate the thymus gland. It will relax and slow down your heart. And of course you're breathing, so your lungs are expanding, contracting, getting rid of carbon dioxide, which increases stress level and fear, bringing in more oxygen, which physiologically relaxes the cells, everywhere in your body. When they have the fuel they need, they relax. When the cells everywhere don't have enough oxygen, they put out little panic signals. They're suffocating, essentially. Just like when you can't breathe, you feel you're suffocating. The cells have that same sensation. And when you got a few billion of these cells don't have enough oxygen, you start to feel anxiety and fear and panic. Easily overcome with the practice of yoga, which is why so many people in the world have started doing yoga in the last decades, because it makes them feel better. It's stress releasing, it picks up your health, it makes you feel better. So overcoming fear by simply doing this.
And can anyone use this technique?
Yeah, anyone can. Let's just do it now. Let's just think 1 minute. Take 1 minute of your life. If you have a 1 minute attention span, it might take more to activate the gland. So we focus on this area, and I breathe like this. Now I'm breathing. You can see that. Maybe you can hear it even. But my concentration, my mind isn't thinking ideas or worrisome thoughts, or I'm not reviewing the bad news I heard today, whatever that was. I'm simply putting my attention here and noticing the expansion, contraction. It's a very pleasant feeling. It's relaxing. And again, we're centered on paying attention right here, feeling expansion, contraction. It's very simple to do, but this is very effective. There are so many schools of thought that now use breathing, realizing this is a very important tool. It's always been there in yoga. It's been used also for thousands of years in Buddhism, in Vipassana, insight meditation, where you're simply focusing on feeling the breath. In yoga, you do that, and you add the breath. You amplify it. You make it bigger to bring in more oxygen, more prana. So anybody can do this. It's very effective. It's very simple. Try doing it for 5 minutes if you can, and see how your emotional state can change. If you're in a fearful state and feeling anxious, stop. Do this deeper breathing. We're only doing it with one section. It's not the complete, more complicated yogic breath. It's simply the midsection. And if you find it's not moving very well, then you can use your hands to squeeze in a little bit when you exhale, and then when you let go of the squeeze, that expansion again. And we are focused on feeling this expansion. Right from here, you can feel it kind of moving outward and coming back in. It's again very pleasant, it's peaceful. Okay, did you have any other questions? That's a practical technique. You can do this again, just sitting in a chair. No complicated yoga posture, nothing advanced here. There's nothing advanced about breathing.
Good. Last question. Many people are feeling that is a big opportunity for us to shift our society, our system. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think any crisis is an opportunity for changing. There's something wrong with the way we've been, and I say that about the fact that we haven't been taking care of our health. We've been relying on medicine, drugs, and surgery, but not taking the responsibility for our own health. And by doing that, by doing these exercises, you become more healthy. And people need to shift away from go to the drugstore, get some medicine, and you'll be better. This is outdated. Most people know this, I think. But what we don't know is that, we have a whole pharmacy right in here with this thymus gland and all the other organs and glands that contribute to creating white blood cells and antibodies to take care of the present situation, is pushing us to do something different. We need to become healthier. It's also a time when we need to make what I call a paradigm shift away from the old school of materialistic thinking and more towards this world of the chakras. In ancient times, in yoga, the energies are called chakras, and it's all mapped out and labeled. But in modern research, in modern science, the last 100 years has been about the revolution in how we see what life is made of. Atoms and molecules are not really things. They're energetic vibrations. They're called quantum realities, waves of possibilities. This is a whole new way of seeing life, and we as humanity need to jump into this new mode of reality, seeing life from a different perspective and realizing what controls the energy is us, our consciousness going through the mental expectations determines what's happening with these waves of possibilities. And when we are full of fear and focused on a specific virus, in this case the corona COVID-19 virus, we're kind of producing this reality. And this is something we need to wake up and understand, that we are creating our reality. It's coming through the subconscious. We can't help what we think. In yoga, you learn to control your thinking. And we need to make this shift of understanding how much we control our bodies, how we control that through our minds, through our expectations, and realize we need to become empowered and take on this new reality of quantum physics and realize we create the world as we wish, as we expect, when we are conscious of this. And if we're dealing with not being conscious, then it's from the subconscious, and the subconscious is taking in all the bad news and filling us with expectations, and it becomes fearful and we worry. And we can change this very quickly. Apply some of these simple techniques. We breathe more deeply, and as you exhale, let go of the fear, and then take another deep breath and let go of the fear until the fear becomes less and less and less, and you feel more relaxed. And at that time, physiologically, your white blood cells are becoming more active, your thymus gland is having a good reactive response to whatever is getting into your system. So the opportunity of changing our belief system from the old school of bugs and bacteria that can harm us to realizing only if we allow them, only if we don't have a defense system. And we do have a defense system. So learning more about ourselves, how we work, how we can make everything in us work better. This is all part of the yogic education. The chakra yoga system is a comprehensive system of yoga that incorporates the whole mind, body, medicine. It's mind over matter. It's understanding how our mind and our thoughts control everything in the body. And when we have positive thoughts, things are better. Just the autoimmune system. When you're in a joyful, happy place, the autoimmune system functions very well, and the fearful, worrisome place inhibits the production of white blood cells, the coding of them, the functioning of them. So understanding more about how everything works, taking control of our lives, our health, becoming responsibly healthy through our own doing rather than waiting for medicine to come from somewhere. It's important, and this is part of what we need to do in this age, is understand how things work, become more responsible for our health and the health of our planet and everything else. It's all it's all connected. And part of the paradigm shift has to do with looking at how we are living, how we are abusing our bodies, and how we've abused the planet. So we need to heal ourselves, heal the planet, reconnect. And the very fact that the opportunity, as you mentioned, now everything has stopped. Nobody's working anymore. This is great, actually. It's an opportunity to do what we need to do as far as healing ourselves, look at our lives and assess what do we actually want to do and what have we been doing. All the traffic has stopped. The pollution levels globally have gone way down just in a couple of weeks because people aren't going to work. And this is something that needed to stop. So it's, in a sense, part of a cosmic event that makes us stop what we have been doing and reassess. And how we move on from here needs to be in a different, less destructive way, in a healthier way. So this is the paradigm shift. We need to readjust our thinking, our way of living, everything we do. And this is the opportunity in which we can do that. Okay, thanks for asking.
Thank you.
If you have good questions, have a good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever it is, wherever and when you are seeing this on your own time zone. It's a global thing now. We're all over the place. Bye for now.